I'm just waiting for Facebook to fix itself up and start. Hey, Jasper. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have a microphone now. This for Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. For Instagram, it's fine. It works fine. So I think, yeah. So now Facebook is on. So as usual, it's 6. So I'm here. I changed the scenario a little bit. Because my office is a bit of a mess, so I transferred to the living room. I think it even looks better, so I'll consider doing it here from now on. Yeah, so here at 6 on Tuesdays to talk a little bit about the job search. As you know, the market's still a bit complicated in terms of job offers, but that doesn't mean there's absolutely no jobs out there. There are still jobs available out there. There are still people to network with. So I wouldn't stop completely your job search if that's the case. Um, so today I wanted to talk about the don'ts, the what not to do when you're looking for a job, because they are as important as of the to dos, because that can cost you a really good opportunity. So you need to really be aware of it. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So the first thing is when you're networking, and you're sending someone an invite on LinkedIn. Be very careful about what you say, about introducing yourself, about talking a little bit about what you want, and what you're where you're coming from, where you are professionally right now. Don't go all the way into doing a general introduction. So what I mean with that, sometimes we're going to write a text, and we want to write a lot of people on LinkedIn, and then you just use the same text for everybody else. You use the thing for everybody else. um, it is all right to use something similar, but exactly the same thing, just changing the names of people. It's really not the ideal scenario, because sometimes you won't even notice, and you will try to introduce yourself to people in the same company, and people talk. And if they see that you are the same person introducing in the same way, they might not like it. It doesn't mean that it will happen, but they might not like it. So just be aware of that. Be careful of these things, and make sure that you have a personalized introduction when you're getting new contacts on LinkedIn, new connections on LinkedIn. Another thing that you shouldn't do is to be overeager. So what I mean with that is, if you need a job, and maybe you are desperate, you need a job right now. Maybe something is something that you are kind of anxious about, you're nervous, you really want some certain type of job, and you go into hot. So what I mean with that is, when you start talking to someone, asking for a job directly, it's not something you want to do. It's not something that you want to say, oh, okay, I want this job like this and this and this. Can I be interviewed for that? It's much better for you, instead of doing that, just write talking about your interest, about the company, about that person, or about the department or the position. It's absolutely all right to talk about a certain position with someone, but don't go all in with a person you've never met before, just saying, "Oh, give me that job. I'm really interested in getting this job." You just do something more general. So it goes on the other direction of when you are introducing to someone for the purposes of networking. So just make sure that you don't present yourself as desperate for that position. I know everybody needs a job, and sometimes you could be anxious, but you could write in a moment that anxiety is not really prevalent in your mood. So just try to do that. One other thing that is very common, and it's a misconception of a lot of people, it's about your CV, the length of your CV. I talk to different recruiters, and some recruiters say that the length of your CV doesn't matter. Some other recruiters say a long CV is difficult to get to the end. The hard truth is there is scientific research done on this, that in average, a recruiter or HR professional that works with going through CVs takes a 6 seconds tops before they decide if they're going to keep reading it or stop right there. So I always recommend to have a one pager. It doesn't matter how qualified you are, how much experience you have. I always recommend to have a one pager. Uh, a two-pager will be all right for positions that are in middle management or above. And even that, I would still recommend to keep a one pager. Yeah, but the main point is keep it organized. Put some colors in it. Don't make like a big fuss out of it, but put some colors in it. If you so talking about the don'ts, you don't want to have a CV where you have it's boring, it's all black and white, it's very cluttered, the information is very dense and it's hard to read. So this is also something that you really shouldn't do, because people lose interest in what you wrote, lose interest in that comment. So think about it, that those people have hundreds of CV to go through in a couple of days, and they don't want to keep reading something really dense with complicated organization. Yeah. So my last don't today will be also about CVs, which is interesting because it's a detail that I see very few people actually mastering this. Um, and it's kind of counterintuitive. So when you're writing a CV, you want everyone to understand what you're saying. And if you work in an area and you start putting acronyms very specific to that area, um, it is really hard for an HR person to understand that fully. It's really hard for a recruiter to understand that fully unless they are very specialized in that area. Yeah. So, and even people that are specialized in some areas have a hard time understanding all the technical terms of a certain area. So make sure that you literally dumb it down. You put easy words for people to understand what you do. And from that, they more interesting questions will come about. People will ask you, "Oh, okay, this sounds interesting. Can you elaborate for me?" And then you have an opportunity to talk to people. You have an opportunity to explain what you meant, but not over explain anything with difficult terms that nobody will understand. So today that's it. For the don'ts of the job search, of course, this is a very very those are very few examples. There's a lot of don'ts, as many don'ts as do's in the job search. If you have any questions, you want any more advice or something of this nature, hit me up, or any of the platforms that I'm in, so YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or anywhere, and let me know. And if you have any questions for these videos on Tuesdays at 6, I'll also try to answer them here. Okay, cheers.